Hi, welcome back to the Beardy Explorer channel. I am Will, and welcome to my actual workshop. So today I thought I would give a bit of a chatty session because I haven't done it for a while. I haven't had a bit of a chat with you for a little while, and I'd like to welcome all the new subscribers. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for coming along on the journey. So this is my workshop and what I've been up to the last sort of 3-4 weeks since I've done a bit of a talking bit with you. I've made a selection of knives which I've got in here, which I'll show you. I've made sort of 4 sort of bushcraft knives, which I'll have a little bit of run through and let you know how I got on with those. I'm sort of progressing my skills slowly but surely, but yeah, there's some knives there that we're going to have a little look at shortly. And yeah, a little bit of a look around my workshop. I've had a bit of time to sort of sort it out, put some new benches in here, got a bit more space. Obviously, people that do stuff at home, DIY style knife makers, any sort of DIY project, people who want a workshop will probably feel the pain of not having enough space, trying to make the best use of the space that you have got. So I'll give you a little bit of rundown of what my workshop looks like and how I'm getting on with it, really. So yeah, let's get into having a little look around the workshop and then I'll jump into the knives. Right, so this is my little forge that I made. I bought a load of fire bricks and screwed them together. They actually screw together very easily. You obviously don't tighten them too much because you'll crumble corners and make a mess of it, but just nip them down sort of semi-tight and actually come together quite nicely. And I use that with just a little gas bottle burner, Bunsen burner, it's not Bunsen burner, it's a blowtorch. And I use that to obviously do my heat treating, because I'm doing heat treating on my knives now and learning how to do better heat treats and just basically getting stuck into it and see how I get on with it. I've had some pretty good results so far, so yeah, can only get better. So that's my little forge, and that's yeah, it's doing quite well. I did have a little comment from one of my subscribers saying you might want to pop another piece in there just to make that actual chamber just half the size, and you actually probably heat up knives and blades and metalwork a lot quicker. So that is on the cards. I do want to get another piece just to pop in there, so that's a good suggestion and I will be doing that hopefully. And this is my little stand that I pop my gas bottle on when I'm doing all that, because I didn't want it hanging off the sort of side here, so I made a little cradle for it. Hopefully I can just shove that into the hole and off we go. So that is the little forge thing that I've got going on there. This is my little stone tumbler. If you've watched some of my other videos, you'll see that I've used it once, and it's just a bit of polypipe, a load of gravel in there, covered in WD-40. Chuck a knife in there, give it a good shake for what appears to be hours, I feel, because I did a stone wash on a bush knife and I was shaking around with that for about an hour and I still didn't get quite the finish I thought I should get, but a bit more experimenting, a bit more playing with that will hopefully see that through. So yeah, we'll have a go with that. Got a vice set up here and I've got my disc sander, which was actually a lathe originally, and I just converted it into my disc sander, and very useful piece of kit. Made this little bench for the top here. It's all nice and 90 degrees square. Took ages trying to get that set up properly. So that is an invaluable piece of tooling for what I do. I use it all the time. So this pad has seen better days. I could probably do with changing that, but yeah, that's something to do soon. Over this side we have another vice set up here, and there's me sort of sundries area with all my grinding discs and all the bits and pieces up there, my saws, my squares and other bits and pieces which help me do obviously my knife making. And obviously there's my camera also, and this is my set of knives, my cup of tea and my other bench. So yeah, and underneath here is where I keep all my tools, saw, bench, chop saw, other hand tools, and my toolbox there. So yeah, pretty basic. So yeah, there we go, that's my workshop. It's not massive, it's not amazing, it's not fully kitted out and tooled up and all the rest of it, but it serves the purpose that I want to use it for, and I'm really happy with it. It's it's your space, so you're gonna love it. So yeah, that's my little rundown of workshop. Leave a comment. Have your workshop the same? Do you have the same sort of problems I have with space, not enough tools, always liking to want new tools, but then think, actually, if I get a big belt sander in here, where the hell am I going to put it? Anywho, I digress. Let's get stuck into the knives that I've been making the last few weeks. Obviously, if you've been watching my videos, you'll see some of these knife builds. Some of these I haven't put up yet, but let's have a little bit of a run through them anyway, and show you what I've been doing, and what I like about them, what I don't like about them, and where I feel like I'm improving and where I'm going downhill maybe. Right, so let's kick off with the first knife that I want to show you. This is the stone-washed bush knife. It's what's the name of the design? Nesmuk one or what? Something like that. I can't remember what the name of them are, but I really like the shape of this knife. It looks freaking awesome. It's just a cool shape. I really like that. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this one. I popped an oak handle on this one, and I found some other oil other than using the boiled linseed. I found some Danish oil, which is Jacobean dark oak style, so I thought I'd try that on this handle. And I think it looks very rustic but pretty cool. So that was the sort of design for that. I'm trying to go for a bit of a rustic because there's stone wash on this one, so it's got the stone wash on it, but it's just not as prominent as I wanted it to be. It kind of looks like it's just been thrown around the garden really, and doesn't look quite as authentic as I wanted. I know some people like to put them in an acid dip, so you could stone wash it then acid dip it, or one way or the other, and then you sometimes get a nicer sort of look to it, maybe a more satin cool look, which obviously I'm going to experiment with that as well. I did get some sort of acid. It was kind of a wheel acid for doing cars with. Thought it might work. It doesn't work with 1084, which is what I've been using to make most of these knives, so there you go, don't use that. But yeah, as a knife, it's pretty cool. Did a little bit for the thumb grip on that one, and yeah, really enjoyed making that one. I think it's a really cool knife and it's pretty sharp, so yeah, that is that bush knife. Let me know what you think. Right, now moving on to the next one. Now this one is probably my favourite one out of the ones I've made recently. I love this knife. I think it looks cool as. This one is just a sort of basic shape. It's not a particularly fancy shape or anything like that, but it was the first time I used some micarta knife scales on this one, and I just went for the sort of grey, black and orange scales, and I tried when I was doing the pins on this one to put the actual sort of brass insert for the actual string for the back there, and with the brass bits in that one as well, and that was the first sort of knife I really tried hard to polish up the blade on that one to get it as nice as I possibly could. I really worked hard on the whetstone to get that sharp edge on it, to get it really sharp, and just to see how well I could get a knife to look, and that's getting close to pretty reasonable quality. I really do like that, and the sanding still isn't perfect. There's still quite a few sort of scratch marks in it, which for a bush knife, who gives a flying heck about the scratch marks, because at the end of the day you're going to be out there shopping about and doing all sorts with wooden whatever, so it's going to get scratched anyway. But it's just trying to make a pristine product or knife from the offset, and then obviously whoever uses it afterwards and makes a mess of it, it's their problem, not mine. But yeah, this one, really proud of this one. I like this one. It feels pretty cool in the hand as well. The only problem I think with this one is the weight. The micarta stuff, it seems a lot more heavy, and it does feel really back heavy. It's got a lot of weight into that back end, so I'm thinking you probably want to drill out quite a lot of big holes to just reduce the weight on the back of that before putting it together in the future. So that's the only downside I feel I've got with that one. Just a bit heavy, but sometimes a bit of weight in your knife isn't a bad thing. So that is that one. Do like that one. Right, okay, and now next one up. This one's a bit of a posh knife, I feel. It's a kind of hunting knife style, I would say, and yeah, I'm on the fence with this one. I do like the shape, and I do like the sort of thumb sort of area of finger indexing bit on that one. I think it's quite cool the way it's sort of got the extra sort of shaping in the handle, and I like that. I tried to make this one quite small because I wanted a little small style knife, and I think, you know, that was about the right size I wanted. I didn't want a really big knife, just wanted a real dinky sort of small bushy cut sort of kind of knife, and that's what I wanted to achieve with this one. And I used the micarta on this one also, but this one was kind of like a hexagon sort of shape, is it, I think, and I quite like it. It's the colour is a bit gaudy. It's not really the sort of thing I was looking for in regards. It's just a bit too in your face. I'm not really that keen on it. I quite like the shape though. It's got the extra sort of piece in there, and this was the sort of, I wanted to experiment to see how I could do with doing beveled bits on the top of that as well. So I beveled that. I didn't make it into a sharp edge, just a little bit of a bevel on that, an extra curve. It was more working with like more unique shapes, and then obviously trying to do the beveling on the actual knife itself. So yeah, quite like this knife. I think it is quite cool. I think it'd be better off in the kitchen though, this one. So that is where that one sits. And I did the stainless steel pins in this one, which you can feel in the actual handle. They've got a little bumpy bit because they're so hard, and then obviously when you're grinding them down just to get them to match in with the scales, you run a risk of getting them hot and then damaging the micarta sort of scales. So I was very sort of conscious that might happen. So now I feel there's a bit of a bump in there, so I'm not overly chuffed about that. So there's a few sort of design issues, and maybe as I created it I wasn't quite as careful as maybe should been, but I think aesthetically it is quite a cool looking knife. But I don't know, let me know what you think. Do you like that one? It just doesn't feel very bushy to me. It seems a bit more kitchen-y style. I think I'll possibly leave this one in the kitchen and use it as a bit of a fruit knife, to be honest. It's kind of that sort of style of knife, or just chopping up a bit of edge. So that's that one. And finally, but by no means least, is this rather trendy, very rustic looking knife that I made, this bush knife. And I actually really like this knife, and I wanted to experiment with doing some patterning on it. So I did sort of like a hammered kind of look to this one. Just used a ballpen hammer and just tapped it away. You might have popped a couple of shorts up doing bits and pieces on this knife. You might have seen that one and how I did it. And yeah, I think that was nice and really nice effect. I do like that effect. I think it's cool. I did it on another knife quite a while back, on a Sobrano handled bush knife, and I did that with a drill and drilled out the holes, whereas this one I just whacked them in with a hammer, and I feel like that's given me the better rustic look. And yeah, I'm really pleased with the results of that one. I think it looks pretty cool, and I tried really hard to get this one super sharp, and this is probably the sharpest out of all of my knives. This one has got a really good edge on this one. So yeah, super proud and pleased with that one. I did a scorched handle on this one, and I think that's pretty cool. It's a walnut, and the reason why I did that is because I wanted to make it to go with the set with my favourite little Beardy axe. I did with a scorched walnut handle on this one, and I thought, actually, if I do a knife that goes with it, that's kind of like my little bush set that I want to take out with me and use actually in the woods. So that is going to be my go-to set, I feel, if I do get out there soon and do a bit of bushcrafting and a bit of bushwork out in the actual woodland. So that's my set for that. So yeah, really chuffed with this one, and I like the rustic style. This was one that I did try to acid dip, and it just didn't work very well. It's got like a bit of a weird ass staining on this bit here, which just looks a bit rubbish. Wasn't very chuffed with it. I left it in that wheel acid that I was talking about before, and I left it in there for like 4 hours, and it did absolutely nothing. In fact, if anything, it actually removed some of the sort of blacking of the bit which I hammered, and it took a bit of that out and cleaned it up, and I thought, I don't want to do that. So yeah, that kind of miffed me a little bit, but other than that, super sharp, super nice little fun, excellent hand knife, and it's nice and small, short, but super sharp. So that was what I wanted to achieve with that one, with some new sort of textures and stuff, and trying to upgrade my sharpening abilities. So yeah, super happy with that. Good knife. Right, okay, so that is my knife selection that I've done over the last sort of couple of weeks. I hope you've enjoyed those knives and like them. Leave a comment, let me know which one was your favourite, and yeah, I'll have a look and see if I can upgrade and do a better job, and see if I can get any better. That's kind of the intention. I'm just going to keep doing a few more knives. It's one of the things I really enjoy. I mean, I want to get out and do some stuff out in some woods and get out camping and what have you, but I've actually put a disc out in my back recently, and I'm not planning on really wanting to go camping at the minute, so I've just been getting so involved with the knives, because to be perfectly honest, I just love making the knives. I come home from work and then I come and spend a couple of hours each night in the shed crafting and creating knives, and it's such a nice therapeutic way to sort of, you know, free your mind, getting in the shed, getting in the workshop, and just, you know, experimenting, having a bit of fun. And yeah, so I've really enjoyed getting so involved with these knives. So I hope you're enjoying this content with the knives, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been a little bit more of an ad hoc sort of chat on what I've been up to. Hope you've enjoyed it, and yeah, hopefully I'll probably pop out a few more if this goes down well. Just a bit of a catch up and a chat, because I haven't been doing it in my videos because I thought people was possibly getting a little bit sort of bored of me stopping and jibbing on a bit, and I thought I'll just instead make a bunch of knives, then chat, do one video. You can watch it or you don't have to watch it, and talk about all my knives in one. So yeah, that's where I'm going. Let me know if you'd rather me speak a bit more within the videos and talk my process through, or if you quite like this sort of style of content, because quite frankly I can do either or. So let me know. Hope you enjoyed my workshop and my little tour on the workshop, and if you've enjoyed this content, please drop us a like, hit subscribe, give the old bell a clonk. That would be super crazy cool if you could, and hopefully I'll catch you again very soon, and get some more knives produced for you. Oh, and a quick note, got to make another knife. I'm going to start it now actually. This is why I'm out in the workshop also, because I want to obviously get going again, because I've got a bit of a problem with making knives and I just want to keep making them. And I'm going to go at a Tanto, I think this is called. And the reason why I want to have a go at this one is because it's got straight edges, and trying to grind in straight bevels with the file jig that I've got, it's going to be a new sort of set of problems. So yeah, looking forward to having a go at this one, because it's just got straight edges on it. So obviously when you're doing it with a filing jig, it makes curves, and curving around with the edge of the blade, sort of like around that sort of section there, is okay, but trying to do it straight, going to set up a whole new set of problems. So that's what I want to tackle. So keep your eyes peeled for that, because that's what I'm doing now. See you soon. Bye bye.